Satara.
And I'm Samika. And today, we're going to share with you guys some of our favorite quarantine reads.
Because of quarantine, we've been having a lot of time on our hands recently, so we've been reading a lot of books. So we thought we would share some of our favorite books with you guys.
Before we get on with this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
And don't forget to comment down below which book you guys are most interested to read.
So, let's get on to the video. First book that I'm going to share with you guys is called The Ichabod. If you didn't know already, it's J.K. Rowling's latest creation, and it's free, it's online, and anybody can read it.
So we'll have the links to that website in the description box below, along with all the other books and their links.
We'll also put it up in the info button.
Up there.
And so this book is about a kingdom called Cornucopia, and it's becoming into like bad shape. Like the citizens are becoming hungry and starving. There's not enough money, and this is all because of corrupt officials, government officials. So these 4 kids are trying to get their country back to normal, like everybody's happy and well fed. And I really like this book because it shows how no matter who you are, you can change the world.
Now I have The War That Saved My Life. This book is set in World War II, and it's seen through the eyes of a little girl named Ada. Ada has a club foot, so she's like not very sure about it because like she's not the same as everybody else. But what's worse is that her mom humiliates her and doesn't let her out of her house because of a club foot, which isn't fair at all. But because of the war, she gets shipped from her home to another place to stay safe from the war. And at this new home, she is treated very nicely, and the people there are very kind to her, and she starts to come out of her shell and regain her confidence. And my favorite part about this book is that, you know, it's just about a girl and her journey through like finding herself and regaining her confidence and who she is. And by the way, this has a sequel called The War I Finally Won, which you guys can check out.
So this is the next book. It's called The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and this is actually my favorite book. It's a fiction story, and it's full of like magic and spells and witches and enchantment, and it's quite a long read, but it's worth it. It's a very intricate story, and you guys should definitely check this book out.
So next we have The One and Only Ivan, and this is based off of the true story of a gorilla that was living in a domain that was very bad. It wasn't good for a thing or anybody to live, and he was all by himself. He was very lonely, and one day he saw this picture of a zoo on TV, and he was like very intrigued by how like close it is to the jungle, and he really wanted to go there, and he made a painting of the zoo, and this helped him find his way back to the zoo where he belonged, and he got to live his life there really happily. So my favorite part about this book is that even though he was taken away from his jungle and done like wrong by humans helped him go back to a better place. So that's my favorite part.
This is my next book. It's called Lucky Broken Girl, and it's actually a memoir. It's the story of how she got into a car accident and broke her leg. This is all about the journey of her recovering and coming back to who she was. And I really love this book because it shows how you can come back from your downfalls.
Okay, so now we have Saving a Sea. This book is really interesting because it's about these 2 boys. They're very different. They come from different backgrounds. They have different interests, but they're in the same classroom. And this story is about how they come together and how they become friends. And the most like shocking part about this book is that it's actually written in 1 week in their school. And I just think it's like a really cool way to write a book. So you guys should definitely check this one out.
So this is my next book. It's called The 14th Goldfish. It's a science fiction book, and it's told from the perspective of Ellie, who is a 11-year-old girl, and she's just trying to be normal, trying to fit in, trying to find friends, and that's when her grandfather turns up, but he actually turns up as his younger self. And basically what happens is he eats this jellyfish that makes him back to his teenager self. And this is all about how they're trying to experiment on the jellyfish, and this is like a really good book. And it also has a sequel called The Third Mushroom, and the links to that book will also be in the description box below, as well as a sequel to The Word That Saved My Life. So definitely check this book out.
Okay, so now we have The Detective's Assistant, and this is actually my favorite book. It's about this girl, and she gets to go on these cool spy missions, and she goes undercover to bring murderers and other criminals to justice. And my favorite part about this book is that all the cases that she goes on happen in real life. And they're based off of true events, and they're actually based off of cases from the Pinkerton Agency. So you guys should definitely check this book out. It's amazing.
So this is the next book. It's called The Whipping Boy, and it's a historical fiction book. It's about when a prince runs away with his whipping boy, and this is all about their adventures, and they get kidnapped by a highway thief. And this is all about how they're trying to get back, and then they even go through the sewers. So you should definitely read this book.
Now we have Stuart Little, and this book is about a mouse that is born to human parents, and it's really funny because, you know, this could never happen in real life, but this mouse, he's trying to do human things, like he tries to brush his teeth and he showers, but since he's a mouse, he always struggles to do all these things. And the best part is when his friend, a bird, goes missing and he runs away from home to try and find her. So you guys should definitely check this book out. It is really, really funny.
So what we have next is actually not a book, it's a series. This is the Bad Kitty series. It's written by Nick Abdul, and it's absolutely hilarious. And if you don't like long books, this is perfect for you. It's very short, and it's hilarious because normally in the book, Kitty always has a temper tantrum for like a very silly reason, and it's hilarious. You should definitely check the series out. We'll have the links to every single book in the series in the description box below, so definitely check these books out.
Now we have The Mouse with a Question Mark Tail. So this is about a little mouse, and he doesn't know his name, he doesn't know who his parents are, he doesn't know where he's from. He was actually abandoned, and another mouse found him and took care of him. And he decides one day that he needs to know who he is and what he's meant to be. So he runs away from school, and he goes on this hilarious adventure where he ends up in a horse's ear, and he even ends up meeting Queen Elizabeth, and he finally finds out who he is. And this book is just so funny. It's told in such a funny way, and I think you guys should really read this book.
This is the last book I'm going to share with you guys. It's called Stargazing, and it's actually a comic book. And the illustrations are absolutely amazing. And this is my second favorite book. And it's a story of friendship between two girls who are the exact opposite. One of them is very shy and quiet, and the other one is super outgoing. And this book really shows how you should be there for your friends when they're in hard times, and you should really read this book.
Now we have Falling Up. Falling Up is not actually really a book, it's a collection of poems by Shel Silverstein, but it's not just any collection of poems. These poems are really, really funny, and they make you laugh so hard, and the drawings that come with them are even more funny. For example, there's this one page where it says, I look to the left, I look to the right, before I ever move my feet. No cars to the left, no cars to the right. I guess it's safe to cross the street. But if you look, there's a little, it looks like a safe kind of, and it's just falling out of the sky because this person forgot to look up. So you guys can see that. And it's just so funny, and this book is filled with like even funnier poems and drawings, and you guys should totally check this book out, and we'll have a link to this book in the description box below. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Make sure to check out these books in the description box below.
Like, share, and subscribe.
And if you guys read any of these books or are going to, be sure to let us know in the comments. And see you next week. Bye!
Go ahead and look better.